First and foremost, as always, I love to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and peace and blessings unto the elect. All right, so as you can see on the title of the screen, don't write a check that your ass can't cash. You know, I didn't want to put ass on the title, so I didn't put that. And in parentheses, I put making vows. All right, which I was just meditating on the video that I did the other day, talking about how you could do certain things in this faith, you know, because the sister had asked if, you know, she can go on prom and graduation, and I was just like meditating on that video, and then this is what popped up in my mind. Because contrary to popular belief, all right, there's still a lot of things that we have to go over. You know, a lot of things that may seem as simple or like common sense in this faith, we still got to go over it, because there's more brothers and sisters being added to the church daily. All right, and topics like these are being looked over, you know, because men want to talk about vocab Malone all day, and, you know, just different things that are not relevant, all right, that's not going to build up, you know, brothers and sisters' spirit in the faith. So topics like these are needed. I know me, you know, I know when I was coming in, when I was new, I needed these topics. I had to search long and hard, or, you know, I just accidentally run into it by just watching the video that's pertaining to something else. You know what I'm saying? So brothers and sisters need these videos, right? Because like I said, you're having new brothers and sisters being added to the faith daily, and they need these topics. So through the spirit, it popped in my mind, so I'm just go ahead and make a lesson on it. And because when you first come into faith, you know, your zeal for the Heavenly Father is real high, and you hear and you learn about vows. You know, oh yeah, I want to make this vow, I want to make that vow. Hey, well, you better make sure that you can keep your end of the covenant. You can keep your end of the promise pertaining to that vow. And because you have to keep that vow, whatever vow you make, you have to keep that. That's according to Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter, and that's also according to Deuteronomy 23. Yeah, so pursuant to those 2 chapters, and also the account we have in Judges with the brother Jethro, I want to say his name was Jethro. He made a vow, and his vow was, all right, look, you know, he had asked the Most High. I'm gonna basically summarize it. I haven't read the account in a while, but essentially, I believe Israel was going to war, and Jethro, he was a judge, and he had to ask the Lord to, you know, deliver some heathens into his hand, and whoever walked through his doors, that's who he's going to sacrifice to the Lord. And that's a vow that he made. And the first thing to walk through those doors was his daughter. It was his daughter, and he fell down on his knees, and he started crying, because now he knew that he had to keep his end of the bargain. He had to keep his end of the vow. He had to sacrifice his daughter, in which he did that, you know. So that's why, be careful about making vows in this faith, especially you being new, and you don't really like know anything. You know what I'm saying? You just out here making this vow, you making that vow. Hey, Shalom, I got the brother Malak La'ab on there. Shalom, bro. You making this vow, you making that vow, and now that vow becomes a burden unto you, and now you can't perform it anymore, and now the Most High is going to have to judge you. Plain and simple. And you're going to get judged. Whatever comes out of your mouth from you vowing to the Lord, you have to keep that. Shoot, that's why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. like that precept when you read in 2 Chronicles 15 and 13. Well, when you read a few verses above it, we promised the Lord that we was going to keep his covenant. We promised, and we made a pact to the Most High that we was going to stop sinning, or we was only going to worship him. And Israel, of course, didn't keep their end of the bargain. And what happened? The Heavenly Father put us in slavery. So, and the Most High, he doesn't take making vows lightly. All right, he takes that very serious. All right, tells you in Numbers 23:19 that the Most High is not a man that he should lie. Meaning what? That he's a man of his word. So, and the Heavenly Father expect us to be a man or a woman of our words too. So if we say that, all right, look, I'm gonna do this for the Lord, you make a vow, you have to do it. So be conscious of the vows that you make. And don't make a vow off the strength because you hear another brother saying, oh yeah, bro, you know, I made this vow. You know, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the Lord. Hey, look, that's him. All right, we all got to individually work out our own salvation with fear and in trembling. And you may get pumped up. You may get motivated off a video you watch, but the man in that video didn't really like fully expound on it, right? And because you know, my early years in the faith, you know, brothers was preaching up and down like, yeah, man, you know, brothers really not supposed to be having a woman. Our brothers don't even deal with women, right? So I'm hearing this, I'm like, oh yeah. You're supposed to be like the Apostle Paul, man. He wasn't dealing with no woman, so he can be focused on the ministry. And me being a novice, being new, being gullible, I'm like, yeah, man, that sounds good. I'm about to make the eunuch vow. And it was through the spirit that, word had got back to Alazar, because, that was back when I was in Sakari. And Alazar was like, yeah, he was like, no, man, it don't make that vow. Hey, because those vows, hey, look, some of those vows would be a burden. You in Babylon the Great, and you telling me you just gonna go the rest of captivity, which you don't know how long captivity is gonna be. You're gonna go the rest of captivity in Babylon the Great, where everything is sexualized everywhere you go, without no sex. Man, you'll mess around and fall out. And I done heard stupid vows made by people before. Hey, like this one brother we was in the camp with, he made a vow not to eat. I believe during the week, he made a vow, and the vow was not eating after sunset. And I just looked at him like, bro, like, hey, what type of vow is that? And then he kind of regretted it. Well, I was like, well, bro, you have to keep that vow now. That's what you vowed to the Lord, so you have to keep it. So remember, keep that in mind before you go off and start making all these vows. Remember, you have to keep these vows. Another example, using myself, I'm a Nazarite, so I can't drink no alcohol. I haven't consumed any alcohol in years. You know what I'm saying? Since like 2000, I think I made the vow in like 2018, something like that. So I haven't consumed any alcohol. I haven't eaten any raisins, any grapes in years. And one day I can't just come back home from work or from the gym like, oh man, I had a long week, I had a long day, let me go ahead and sip something. The Most High, he'll understand. I'm in captivity. Nope, can't do that. Nope, gotta keep that vow. Gotta keep that vow for forever, how long you made the vow for, which I made that vow until the kingdom come. Now, had I not made the vow, if I had more experience in the faith and I wasn't so hasty, who knows? But I'm not saying that I regret it, because, me personally, I like the benefits of being sober. So that's just me, right? But can the next brother do that? We don't know. So you have to make sure what you do in this faith is beneficial for you. don't just look at the next man and say, oh shoot, well, he's doing it, she's doing it, well, I'm gonna do it, They don't do that. Like it says in the book of Sirach 37. And it says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see was evil for it, and give not your soul unto it. For all things are not for all men, neither do have every man pleasure in everything. So you have to see what's good for your own soul. So like I said, man, you're new, you're a new brother in the faith or a new sister in the faith, right? And you come across vows and you reading and hearing about vows. Hey, listen, don't just be making all these vows, because you have to keep them. That's imperative. Matter of fact, a brother's on here. Well, a few brothers are on here. We got 13 people on here. So can a brother, Bubba Kashaw, post Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 4, and then Deuteronomy 23. I want to say Deuteronomy the 23rd chapter and the 29th verse. That's crazy. As soon as I asked for some scriptures to be posted, a lot of people hopped off. I believe Deuteronomy 23 and like 21, where it talks about when you vows a vow to the Lord, defer not to pay it. Gotta get those. And then for brothers that just hopped on, I had mentioned Jethro, daughter, Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. When thou vows a vow to the Most High, defer not to pay it. Yeah, meaning what? Don't default on your vow. It says here, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. See that? Pay that which thou hast vowed. Can you please post the 5th verse too, bro? Bubba Kashaw, Deuteronomy 23 and 21. It says, when thou shalt vow a vow to the Lord, thy power, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For Yahweh thy power will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. See that? So it's a sin if you don't keep your end of the bargain, if you don't keep your end of the promise. And we know what the wages of sin is. The wages of sin is death. The Most High, He will put your ass to death for not keeping your vow. Period. So don't be so hasty in your zeal to make vows. Because, and the thought is, oh, dang, man, I was in the world and, I was sinning. I got to make sure I can do everything I can for the Lord. Hey, matter of fact, man, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna stop doing that. When in reality, you didn't have to do that. Of course, we seek the Lord 10 times more, but in your simplicity, you not knowing, in your ignorance, you thinking that you have to stop all these things, which you don't. You don't have to. Of course, limited, right? But you don't have to do these things. And because of certain influence of men as well, like I said prior, because men, a lot of men, they would make blanket statements, right? They would make blanket statements in the video, not really expounding on it, and a young brother get all hyped up, and he's like, yeah, not really knowing the full extent. Because trust me, that happened to me. Like I said, I'm watching the video, and the man is saying certain things. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting all hyped up, yeah. But really, it be all cap. Really, it be cap. Like again, like the whole having a wife thing. Yeah, man, brothers are not really supposed to be dealing with women. Whole time that man that's saying that he has a woman. They on Facebook, they on Instagram, they all hugging up and shit. And then you look at that, you like, damn. But in the video, he just said, not even supposed to be in love with a woman or whatever, So brothers, just be mindful. All right, you just be mindful. Yep. Hey, Shalom, got the elder Shagala on here. See, yep, Ecclesiastes 5 and 5. It says, better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that shouldest slot. It says, better is it that thou shouldest not vow then that thou shouldest vow and not pay. See, that's so it's better that you just don't do the vow. Yup, it's better that you just don't make the vow. Keep your mouth shut. And that's going to save your life. Well, it tells you that in the book of Proverbs. He that closeth his mouth saveth his life. So it's better that you don't even make the vow. And that's true. It's better you would tell somebody, hey, look, bro, you know, I pay you back when I can. Then you tell somebody, all right, well, you know, I pay you back tomorrow. Because you have the individual head capped up now. So I bet, you know, I'm finna go ahead and get my money back tomorrow. Cool. And then when you don't show up with the money tomorrow, you be like, bro, what the fuck? He ready to knock your head off. That's the Lord. You capping up the Lord head. Like, all right, bet, you know, he about to make this vow. Yup. And then you don't keep your end of the vow. Now the Lord is angry. Now the Lord is about to have that death angel chop your head off. And the situation is different with a woman, because in the book of Numbers, now when a woman makes a vow and her husband or her father doesn't agree with it, the husband or the dad can disannul the vow. It's in Numbers somewhere, like I believe like in the late chapters in the book of Numbers, showing you how the Heavenly Father, he has us men, you know, he has us on like a higher standard. Because, you know, a woman is like simple, you know, and a woman does things, you know, just based off emotions. Now, us men, we're supposed to be rational. All right. You know, what we say, you know, it shouldn't be based off of emotions, right? So a woman, that's different. But now, when it comes onto us men, the Lord like, yeah, nah, man, you should have not had made that vow. Right? Hey, so that's it on that. You know, not to be redundant. You know, just, you know, informing brothers, you know, hey, look, make sure you seek counsel before you want to make a vow on something. All right, because they could be detrimental to you. Right? Is it wise? Is it wise for you to make this vow? Are you sure you're going to be able to stick with it? Right, that's the questions that you should ask yourself. Are you sure that this is a long-term vow that you're going to stick with? Because again, as the scripture says, you have to keep it. And there's another one in Sirach, I believe it's the 18th chapter. It says, don't let nothing deter you from keeping your vow. I want to say that's Sirach 18 and 25. Right? But like I said, man, that's it on that. So Yahweh Desire, you brothers and sisters were edified. All praise, honor, glory unto Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Death to America. Shalom.